This is your girl Midas Touch Baby. Welcome to my channel. Can I be your obsession? Let's talk about men and makeup. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me, how do you feel about a man taking care of their skin, like loving on their skin, doing the treatments, the chemical pills to make sure they don't have any blemishes? And I am a person who love to look at a man with beautiful skin, clear skin, and a beautiful smile, just it just give me everything. But now, during the time, people is coming after people who are not like them or who is really into they self-love and self-care. They judging them as being feminine, and sometimes they can be quite frankly derogatory and demeaning. Some people wear makeup because that's what they're into, and people like Saucy Santana, who's into entertainment, and Saucy has beautiful skin, may I add. But I just love to see people express themselves in any way they can. Now, there are some men who actually just wear foundation so their skin can look beautiful for whatever reason because, that's what they're into. And there are some who go all out. And I don't have any judgment towards either one of them. But tell me how you feel. Now, let's think about it. In ancient Egypt, men wore the Kahal eyeliner for reasons to protect them against the sun. Isn't that the same thing with the football players wear, but instead of being an eyeliner, they have it lower, like almost to their cheekbone to block the sun? Isn't that like the same thing? And then you think about it, they wore green eyeshadow to evoke the god Horus to ward off illness. Okay, I'm not into that. But that's what they wore it for. And then I think about rock musicians like Kiss, AC/DC, Twisted Sister, Marilyn Manson, Alice Cooper. They all wore makeup. I didn't have anything to, against it because I thought some of them was very good looking with the makeup on, especially Poison. And, that's just what I was into at that time. Now I'm not into that, but when I was younger, I was into it, Some of the makeup did scare me, like Marilyn Manson and, and people like him kind of scared me. But there was their creativity, is what I'm saying. So did you know in Europe and in America during the 18th century, it was like a shift had occurred with wearing makeup with femininity and stigma. So then they was looked down upon. But before then, you was praised. You was like, oh, yes, you had money, you had wealth, you had power. You can afford to wear makeup. You could afford to wear wigs as men. Let's not talk about wigs and weaves because I can do a whole video on that. Look at Prince. He's just so fine. God bless you, Prince. I miss you. But, it was like so much hate and stigma going against sexy Rick James. Excuse me, y'all. As y'all can see, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But when we think about it, in ancient Rome, men used red ochre for lips and cheeks to show vitality and wore makeup as a sign of wealth. So that was okay. But then you come against people who's not like you today and say, oh, they're trying to be like women. Let's look about other ancient cultures like the warriors and the priests in places like ancient China, Japan, and indigenous cultures. Let's think about that. Aristocratic eras. Let's think about people wearing that in Europe, and particularly the French and English courts. Aristocrats use white face powder, blush, elaborate wigs to signify their wealth and nobility as fashionable statuses. Hello, everybody. Come on now. And here we are today in 2025 spewing our hate. Let's look at Rocky, Sylvester Stallone. Y'all knew he wore makeup, and look at him back then before he started aging. Sylvester went and got that face done. And you think about it. Some of the people that you think are very beautiful had done that in film and acting. And you think about it like, daggone where they wore makeup on a news broadcast for their job to keep the light from shining and bouncing off when they're recording, but did they get hate? Some of you are still doing it. And I hear some of the little mumblings and grumblings about Sam Champion. You better leave my Sam Champion alone, because he is fine, fine. Okay, some of you wish that you look as good as Sam Champion from Eyewitness News. And let's think about old Hollywood. Those men wore eyeliner, y'all, in them black and white films, and face makeup beat down. Let's think about in other cultures when they wore makeup, even to this day, for cultural status. Are we going to sit here and join them and criticize them? I've learned that people don't understand things because they have not traveled and visit other parts of the world. I've come to realize that. And even if you can't travel because you don't have the money or the means for it, guess what's really free? A library card. Have you considered going and opening a book and reading a book about different cultures? And the first person that I saw in makeup and in drag was Geraldine, right here. Geraldine. And Geraldine was spicy. And when I found out that was a man, Flip Wilson, I was shocked. And look today, Tyler Perry as Medea. And some of you who have problems with men wearing makeup love the message that Medea give you on the plays. I'm just saying. And RuPaul is just simply beautiful. And the full makeup and everything. Even without the makeup, RuPaul is just a beautiful person. And have you ever considered, does your president wear makeup? We all seen sometimes he's a little orange, a little pale, little orange, little pale, little orange. We know he has worn makeup. Ain't nobody gonna fool me and tell me President Trump ain't wearing makeup. And if he does, I'm not judging him, because some people, just like everybody, we all have flaws. But what does that say about us? Especially about us judging others. And what about people like Eddie Murphy, who has played multiple characters, and two of them were women in The Nutty Professor and The Nutty Professor the Clumps? And what about Marlon Wayans when he played sextuplets, and one of them was his sister? This is your girl Midas Touch, baby, with no judgment. And don't forget to check out my video, Life After Lockup Review, Season 6, Episode 16, Playing with Fire. Until next time, don't forget to hit that subscribe channel and notification bell so you will know when I post new content on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Until next time, bye for now.